Hi, from Android Big Lab. Today we're gonna see the HTC One Mini compared to other phones with 4.3 inches screens. So HTC launched this phone. It's a really beautiful phone with a lot of specs, and let's see if it's better than all the other 4.3 inches screen phones. Well, let's compare the screen. All the phones have 4.3 inches screen, but this phone has 341 pixels per inch. That's one of the best screens you have ever seen on a Android smartphone with a 4.3 inches screen. So there is one phone that is better than this phone and it has more pixels per inch. It's Sony Xperia S with 342 ppi, and there is no other phone with more than 300 pixels per inch. So this is one of the best screens you will ever find in that size. And let's now see the camera. The camera has a technology called ultra pixel. It's just 4 megapixels, and this technology lets more light in your picture, so you have better shots in low light conditions. So this is a new technology, and a 4 megapixel camera, well, it's too small for today. These days there is Sony Xperia Z which has a 20 megapixel camera. So let's check the 4.3 category. You can find a lot of phones with a 12 megapixel camera, or 13, or 5, or 8. So you may choose a better camera like this on Sony Xperia S with 12 megapixels, or some 8 megapixel camera, but not HTC Mini One with just 4 megapixels, because if you zoom in you can see the pixels and it's not very beautiful. So maybe these photos are good, are better lighted, but when you zoom in you lose all the details. So choose another phone if you want a camera and that size. Well, now the processor. HTC One Mini has a dual-core processor at 1.4 GHz and 1 GB of RAM. So it's there is only one phone in that category that has 2 GB of RAM, and that's it, Samsung Galaxy S4. All the other phones have 1 GB RAM, so HTC makes no difference. And there are also some other phones that are really fast in that category. This is Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini with a dual core at 1.7, or HTC One S with a dual core processor at 1.7, or even Huawei Ascend P1 with a dual core at 1.5. So this is not the most powerful phone on the market right now. So let's now check the battery. So this phone has a 180 milliampere battery, and well, there is some software here with to control your battery. As you can see, there is power saver, and you can control this battery better than other phones with bigger batteries. But if numbers count, you have to buy another phone with 4.3 inches screen like LG L72, which has a huge battery of 2460 milliamperes, or LG Optimus F5, which has a 2150 milliampere battery. So this phone has not the best battery of the market. Let's go to the software. This is a brand new phone, so it has the latest Android called, no, it doesn't have the latest, but it has 4.2. So it's a good version of Android. So well, there are other phones like Samsung Galaxy S4, which has also the 4.2 version of Android, and there are not a lot of devices that have Android. There are not devices with 4.3, but there are older devices with Android 4.1. So you have one of the most recent Android versions with that phone. There is also a lot of apps like Blink Feeds. This is Blink Feed. You get the news on your default screen, and you can add your social friends and have all that in your first screen if you like. You have also Zoe. It's you take small videos of some seconds and you can have your life in just some videos. It's like Vine or something. So this is a rich software phone. Well, let's check the size now. It's 4.3 inches. All phones have 4.3 inches, and this is the most beautiful phone we have ever seen in that size. It's like HTC One, and it has metal and metal on the back and some cords like that. It's really beautiful, and if you see that and you hold it in your hand, it's really beautiful. It's the best phone we have ever seen in the design. So let's check the numbers now. It's not as thin as other devices. This is 9.3 millimeters, while Huawei S&P One is only 7.7, and HTC One S is 7.8, and Samsung Galaxy S2 Plus it's 8.5. So it's not really thin, this phone. And HTC One weighs 122 grams, and there are definitely lighter smartphones on the market like Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini with 107 grams, or Huawei S&P One with 110 grams, or even Samsung Galaxy S2 with 116 grams. So HTC One Mini is beautiful, but it's not as thin as other phones and not as light as other phones. This phone was launched August 2013, and it's the newer device on 4.3 inches category. So you can also find some other phones launched in May, like Samsung Galaxy S4 or LG Optimus F5 or Sony Xperia L. So HTC One Mini is a beautiful phone. If you look at it, it's a copy of HTC One, but the rating, it does not put this on the top of the list. There are much better phones like Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini or Samsung Galaxy S2 Plus or even LG Optimus F5, and there is also another HTC phone which is better than this one. It's called HTC One SV. So if you want design and you want the HTC software and you want a brand new phone, this may be your choice. If you want the best device with your money, you can get Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini, but this one is a beautiful phone and we love it because it's beautiful. We don't always need the best hardware, but we just need a phone that is really beautiful and we want to show it to our friends. So this is it, HTC One Mini. Thanks from Android VIP Lab.